Welcome to Through the Trauma podcast. My name is Amber Larkins, published photographer, storytelling expert, visual artist, entrepreneur, speaker, and coach. This podcast was born from one question: how do I get inspiring stories of triumph out to the people who need to hear them the most? Come with me, enter my world, where lives are getting changed, heroes are getting developed, and greatness is being achieved. Hello and welcome to Through the Trauma podcast. I am Amber Larkins, your host, and today I have with me Miss Inesa Ponomariovaite. I probably mispronounced that, but she can correct me. She is a very amazing human and doing very amazing things. I want to tell you a little bit about her. She's a visionary founder and CEO of her own product, Nesa's Hemp. It's the world's first ever full spectrum CBDa oil. It's created through a unique process in which she developed, and it preserves all the healing compounds of the hemp plant. This brings optimal healing and restores the body to its natural state. She's a renowned expert in the field of hemp and CBD, as well as a caring holistic healer who is actively changing lives. Her mission is to revolutionize and empower people to heal and live well by transforming concepts of health and healing power of pure hemp and CBDa. Today, Nesa's Hemp is certified as the highest quality organic hemp product on the market. And Nesa, thank you so much for being here with us today. I am so excited to get into your expertise in this and something I definitely want to know more about. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me here today, and I can't wait to share, hopefully help to change lives and inspire and to provide the value for everyone who's listening today.
So let's go ahead and jump right into your story and kind of what pushed you into a business like this that is truly helping people heal and thrive.
Yeah, so I think I never was thinking that I'm going to be in the business. I don't even think the business until today is for me because it's coming really more from my heart, but it's just part of the journey. So I think what happened when I was a kid, I always knew that I have a heart for other people or like animals because I would always do whatever it takes to save someone's life or to help them. I would just really stop my whole life and not even think about myself and just be there for other people. So I always knew I have a bigger heart. But then when I came to United States from Lithuania, and I was age 21, I really had to go through some quite hardship. And when I say hardship, most people are surprised I'm still smiling today. And because they think they would never survive anything like that. And I'm not saying that my hardship is better than someone else or worse than someone else, but I'm just saying that it was definitely a lot for someone to handle who is young and doesn't know this country, doesn't understand exactly how everything works here, doesn't have a status in the country, doesn't have even the way to prove their identity. So it was not easy, but I really experienced a lot because I was raised on very strong values like never lie, never steal, never cheat. And when I came to United States, I came with this mindset. And I really thought these things don't exist. And I did not know they really do. So I had to learn my own way on my own skin that lie exists and cheat exists and the steal exists. So, and it was painful to learn those things because I felt like the world is not fair to me. And then I learned the world is like this to everyone and it can happen to anyone. It's just the way you're going to look at it. So as I was going through these hardships, I was targeted by human traffickers. I also was in very abusive relationship, and it cost us to even go to the court system and get all the protection and things like that. Every time I was experiencing pain, I knew it's wrong because it did not feel right to me, and it didn't feel it shouldn't be even happening to me. And I felt like one day I have to be a strong woman and help to stop this because I never done anything bad to anyone, and why this is happening to me. And someone who was very strong still is very strong with God. I would ask God, why are you doing this to me? And I know God is not doing those things to me. It's the dark side who's doing those things to me, right? So long story short is, every time I was experiencing something traumatic in my life, I said, I am choosing to this situation to be a powerhouse to me. And one day I'll be strong enough and I will figure out how to fight back this typical situation for someone else, because I was afraid that other people are hurting in similar situations like myself. So I wanted to help others. So yeah, that's what really inspired me. That was actually my inspiration, was my own pain, and it was struggles and no help and not understanding what to do. And that's where it really started.
Where did you first catch this glimpse of working with CBD?
That came way later in my life. Even I was just laughing with this woman today because I truly live, I probably live more life in one day than someone else or somebody out there in a month. And I'm not joking. I super fast pace. I don't skip a second. People count minutes or hours or tens of minutes. I truly count seconds. And every day from early morning until night is counted and scheduled in a seconds. So a lot is getting done. So I feel like when you say when CBD or hemp came in my life, I feel like it came a long time ago because so much happened since then. Um, it really was. So when I was going through those hardships, I also was having really bad health. I used to go in emergency room almost once a week. I was really, really bad. I had all kinds of health conditions. And I remember as a child used to be always going to the same doctors, taking the same pills, except now I'm taking more pills. So by the age 25, I was like loaded with pills. Things are not getting better. I can't even imagine how they can look better because things are actually getting worse. I'm just taking more pills. So I knew that something isn't right, because just a common sense, like if I started all these health conditions in age 12, I trusted doctors my entire life by age 26. And by age 26, I was on multiple medications to kind of help myself to survive and function every single day. I realized that something is wrong, and I'm just only 26. What I'm going to do next? So I just stepped back and looked in my life, and I said I need to change the people that is helping me, which is doctors. And I started really looking for like changing my lifestyle, diet, things like that, and what do I eat, do I drink, how do I sleep, and all these things, surprisingly, not surprisingly today, but surprisingly that time, were helping me to improve. And I was super excited with the tiny improvements. So I really stick with all the new regimens I was creating for myself. And I just decided to go full core. And I did. And I was able to transform my health within 1 year. From being very miserable my entire life, in 1 year was perfectly healthy, and since then I've been very healthy. So you see, the mother nature an idea that food and nutrients do have a power to our health planted a seed. But it wasn't enough for me to say, okay, I'm going to change the world, I'm going to develop some CBD products. No, it was just a planted seed in my life that I trust these solutions more than anything else because it helped me. But then when I really got my life together, and you call this American dream, and I was finally have a beautiful, stable job, putting savings away, creating business on the side, I was still working crazy hours like I still do now, but I felt like I have everything. I have a car, I have a nice apartment, I have friends that love me. I felt like I'm important, even I really wasn't. And I felt like, oh, is this an American dream? Like that's all what it takes. And I felt this is not for me. Like, I don't feel like just to have this comfort on piece of paper, like, and to have this quote unquote good life is not for me. And I was looking for purpose in my life because I just, I just felt like I'm not fulfilling something. So I start really questioning people around me, the smart ones, and I always start the people that really make more money. They're the smart ones. So I would ask questions like, what is the purpose? Like, I feel like I'm not fulfilling what I'm supposed to be doing, and something is like empty inside of me, and I don't know how to explain it. Yes, I have a great position. Yes, I'm respected. Yes, XYZ, but it's just the emptiness is so big, and I don't know what to do with it. And some people would say, Nasa, you're out of your mind. Like, you truly do have a good life. You just continue focus and keep growing and you'll be fine. I'm like, no, like, I don't feel good about it. Like, I don't feel good internally. So I just decided again, go back to God and pray. And I said, what's my purpose in life? What I'm really doing? Why you planted me on this planet? And what you want me to do? Because at this point, I can't answer this question for myself. So it took me a year, and after 1 year praying, and again I was mad on God, why you not telling me why I'm still miserable, like why what's going on. It took me 1 year, and then I got the phone call, and the phone call was my mother, and she actually lived in Lithuania. She still does. And she said that she had 6 months left to live, cancer, and she's gonna die soon, and she wanna spend some time with me before she's gonna pass away. And as she's telling me these news, I am truly experiencing a beautiful, beautiful transformation within myself. And I see this beautiful vision of me doing whatever it takes to save my mother, doing whatever it takes to know everything about cancer. And I already knew that I'm going to trust the natural solutions instead of pharmaceutical ones because of my own experience. And I saw this beautiful download, and actually as she was crying from sadness, I was truly crying from happiness. So because I was just so happy, like God finally answered my prayers. So I saw her being healthy and happy and smiling and like loving, and then I saw like thousands of people around my mother being super happy and healthy and smiling. I said, this is like the best thing ever happened to us. So, and my mom thought I'm like sleeping, talking, walking because it was early morning in the United States. And she said, I need to FaceTime you because I have a feeling you're sleeping. And I'm like, oh yes, FaceTime you. So I just clicked the FaceTime, and she saw me being in the kitchen preparing my shake to go work out. And she's like, you're really not sleeping. No, mom. I said, I am truly excited because I know cancer is curable. I just don't know how. And I will do whatever it takes to make sure I know everything about cancer. So you're going to be okay. In fact, I said, because of your cancer, we're going to help to save so many other lives.
Did she believe in the holistic approach, or was this something you had to convince her of?
I did not have to convince her for a long time. I really started my global research the same day, actually. The same day I left the country, the same day I quit my job. Not quit, but I told them I'm not coming back, and I don't know when. So the same day, I literally immediately took action. And since then, never stopped again, which has been 6, 7 years now. Um, what happened is, I think she believed in these natural solutions, but when I start explaining her what makes sense and what doesn't, she really had a common sense to figure out. And she's like, oh my gosh, you're right. Let's try. So she was very open minded, which has really helped me. And again, she was hopeless. She was like, I'm dying. I have nothing to left. Like, I'm dying anyway. So, and I knew deeply in my heart that there's no way in the world she's dying. So I was so confident. I don't even know how and when and how that even happened, but was so convinced, convicted actually. I wasn't even convinced, I was convicted that she's going to be okay.
How long did this take? What was this process like, healing her?
I'm not gonna lie, I really did not know what the heck I was doing that time. I feel like there was some kind of blessing and miracle, as people say, because as I was learning everything and reading, eating up the books, science research, talking to the top professors in the world, understanding the data and politics, actually, you would be surprised behind the cancer. There's a lot of politics behind. And what they call success story, what they call not success, how the drugs are developed, what is the like. I went so deep in this whole journey where, as I was learning, if I was learning something in my books positive, I would immediately apply. And I didn't even bother to see, like, let's try. I'm like, let's go hardcore on whatever I just learned. So as I was learning, I was immediately applying, but at the same time, I was learning the dark side of the medical industry. So it really helped me to feel strongly about my decisions because I knew that I don't want to do chemotherapy and I knew I don't want her to do radiation. Even we're
Hmm.
like trying to convince us to do, and I met with top oncology centers in Lithuania, and they said if she's not going to do that, she's going to die. I said, but she's dying anyways. You guys told us like she has 6 months left to live, but then she's going to die with less pain. I said, I heard that chemotherapy does not kill stem cells of the cancer, it just suppresses them. And then they get back 10 times harder. And they actually, it's called spread it because now they are mad at you. You try to suppress them and kill them potentially. So I said, so really meant, it's not like I was just reading some books or some Google research papers. No, I was physically interviewing doctors, professors globally, some of them physically, some of them like on Zooms and phone calls, whatever it took. Some of them I had to travel, meet because they could not talk to me. So I had to travel in different country and knock the door and say, I need to talk to you. I need to know the answers. So I did some 27,000 hours on global research on cancer.
How far along was your mother? Like, what stage was she?
So my mother was actually diagnosed officially stage 3, but unofficially stage 4 because I stopped everything in the middle of the process because I wanted to make sure we're not doing everything what they wanted to do for my mother. So she had colon cancer spreading to her liver, and if it spread it's always a stage 4.
Mhm.
So again,
Yeah.
they couldn't
Yeah.
finish the liver results.
Yeah. Um, so you healed your mom from a stage 3 cancer. Have you ever healed anyone or seen anyone heal from stage 4?
I'm not a doctor, so I'm not allowed to make any claims. Even doctors are not allowed to make any claims. But since my mother got better, I actually was very excited to help other people. So I shared my knowledge and never stopped learning about cancer until today. Cancer is still my
Mhm.
topic. It's been many, many years now. And I worked and shared my knowledge only with stage 4 cancers. I never had anyone as easy as my mom, and all of them are actually doing great. So, the people I worked 5 years ago, 6 years ago, that I shared my knowledge, they are still living happy, healthy lives.
That's incredible. That's truly incredible. I do believe, and I know that I don't know what you're allowed to say and what you're not allowed to say. I know cancer is big business for our the medical industry, but I truly believe that you can heal from cancer. I truly believe in what you're doing. Um, I think that this is it. I'll just say this: if I ever got cancer, I would never do chemotherapy and I would never do radiation. And I know that a lot of people, I'm sure that you get backlash from that because I know a lot of people, even in my own family, that thinks it's ridiculous that I would even say something like that. But I truly believe that we live in a time where there's so many toxins. We're being inundated so much with toxins from the radiation, from the electronics, from the air quality to the food quality to the all the synthetic things that we're putting in food. And it's alarming to say the least. It's very alarming. I don't know. It's to me, it's like cancer's, it's big business. It's like the pharmaceutical companies, the drug companies, the companies that are doing all of the pushing the chemotherapy and things. They don't want us to resort to holistic ways of healing.
Because, as you mentioned, it's not something I say, it's the reality. One cancer patient, if they do lots of treatments, they bring about 1.8 to $2 million. And then, if you pass away early, insurance companies, not insurance, social security doesn't have to pay you social that you paid for them your entire life. So that's another great saving on the end. You pay them your whole life and it's time for them to pay you. Like you don't have to do it anymore, especially if you're on older age. So I learned these policies. I learned what they call success rate. For example, definition of success rate in a cancer pharmaceutical industry is if you stay miserable on chemotherapy and if you are vegetable for like 4 to 5 years, 5 years, I'm sorry, they actually call this success rate if you pass away after 5 years. But now nobody really can last that long, so they shorten up the time and they actually saying after 4 years you've passed away, and they still call that success rate. So they keep shortening it. I wouldn't be surprised if they're gonna start calling success rate something if you die in 3 years. So for me, success rate is like my mother or rest of the people I worked with that are still we can meet for cup of tea and have some ginger shots, like it's
Mhm.
this is called success rate in my books, but that's my personal definition and that's how I wish to see the world. But as I said, like when you learn these little things in the beginning, it sounds great if you're sitting in a doctor office. Oh, we have a success rate 90%, but they're never going to tell you 90% of success rate means if you die in 4 years from now, you're going to be that 90% success rate.
It's so much deception. It's so much deception around it. But my experience with pharmaceuticals in general is that I'm curious. I do want to ask you this. So you produce this CBD oil, the CBDA, and you've come up with this process of really utilizing the hemp plant. Do you use other things in conjunction? So when someone if someone had cancer, say myself, if I had cancer and I came to you and I said, "I want you to help me get better," would you say you should take this product, or would you say, "Okay, let's come up with a holistic plan and take the product"?
I wish I can come to someone and say, take one little magic pill and your life will turn upside down to the moon back and forth for the with your wish list. I think even pharmaceuticals would love that because they would make so much money. Instead of $2 million, they would probably charge 20, and it would be still worth it for them to do this way. No, that's absolutely impossible because there's thousands of functionalities in a human body happening within 1 second. So, and thousands of mechanisms, thousands of support needs to happen. Like, so the way I personally work, I really customize things, or we have 300 approaches, 6 phases, unless someone does have like 6 hours left to live. So we have very completely different approach for that. I share different knowledge for this, different experiences. So but yes, if just regular cancer, the person can still walk on their legs, and they still can think and talk. It's pretty strong full-time job to actually take care of that. But I tell people all the time, you should start seeing results in a couple of weeks. If you don't, most likely you are on the wrong path because body is magical. Another beautiful thing about cancer is nobody tells you about this, but like we get cancer 4 times in our lifetime on average. And we don't even know we got it because our immunity normally is taking care of the cancer cells, and before they even mutate to something super big and very visible, our immunity is actually taking care of that cancer. So you don't have to worry about like it's happening 4 times in a lifetime. If you like 75 years old, or you probably already had 3, 4 times cancer. So most likely
Mm.
based on the statistics. So with that being said, and you've done nothing about it, you don't even know you had one or three of those. So with that being said, it's just to take care of that immunity consistently is very important. But as you mentioned, toxins are so everywhere. Like people can't even live without escaping a toxin. It's not like I just love how people go in the stores and start reading the labels and things like that. If people would know how toxic is just to get an ice cubes from this vending machine or whatever those machines are, or you get your drinks and you get the ice cubes, just by doing that one action, you can destroy your life. Especially if you do that with the low immunity. Because there's loaded of parasites, of larva eggs mutated. Parasites are sitting in that machine around the ice, and you put that in your drink, you have no immunity, and now these parasites gonna mutate in your body. So it's toxic, and it's gonna kill you. There's no way in the world. Parasites is a big topic. So with that being said, the metals, parasites, toxins, biofilms, Magellans, they're everywhere. You can't escape them. So only one way to survive them is to clean your body from the mess you've done in the last 30, 40, 50, 60 years and increase your immunity after you're done cleaning your body, which is it takes about 6 months, and we do that in Genesis 369. So if you go under Genesis 369, you can actually see what we do. We help you transform your body, and when you do that, then all what you do is just clean up your mess and you keep your immunity high. So when you are exposed to these parasites, when you are exposed to these toxins, your body knows how to deal with it. It just pushes them out, cleanses you out, and you don't have to even worry about this anymore. But again, you first have to clean the damages. So there is no such thing as take Nestle's hemp and take one little magic pill is gonna cure you. First of all, we don't cure anybody. I just share my experiences, and because I was able to develop a beautiful program, people do see results, and all these people are still walking on this earth. But with that being said, the reason I developed Nestle's hemp, it's not because I wanted to cure cancers or anything like that. It's just because I knew how essential is the hemp plant for the human body, and I knew if all 300 and change million Americans would get cannabinoids, a healthy, clean cannabinoids in their body, half of this country would be off the pills today, and half of this country would be preventing themselves from disease. So I just knew essentials of human endocannabinoid system that's not even been taught in the medical school. They teach you in the medical school about your vision, they teach about the liver, they teach about your colon, they teach about your kidneys, but they don't teach about endocannabinoid system. Endocannabinoid system is the one that's responsible to regulate every system in your body. It's literally the most essential organ, and doctors don't even know that thing exists. When you're gonna be deficient on your own endocannabinoids that you normally produce in your body, you start losing them by age 18 and 20 because you get older. I mean, older means you get exposed to too many toxins and parasites and mold and metals, you name it. So you start losing that production. So it's almost like emptying the car from the oil, and you need just put some oil so you can run again. Same thing here.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is medical field and the doctors and medical schools do not teach doctors about the human endocannabinoid system. So when you think you have a symptom in your brain, you have a symptom in your spleen, in your liver, in your ovaries, you just think something is wrong with you. What if you're just missing some few cannabinoids or actually needs to be produced and regulated for that area in your body? Instead going to see the doctor and he's going to put you on the pill that's never going to fix your health condition, it's just going to suppress your health condition, and you're still going to be walking miserable, and now you're going to keep taking more pills the way I was taking my half of my life.
And the pills are also going to promote more problems. So every pill that you have, it also has a side effect. So now you're not healing your body naturally, you're putting a band-aid on it with a pill that's going to cause another problem most of the time. So it's a never ending game.
More pills you take, vicious cycles are going to become, because the one pill is going to lead to two pills going to lead you to four pills going to lead you to eight pills going to lead you to 16 pills, and then you are literally toxicating your entire body with these toxic medications that never ever going to fix your long-term issue. I just don't understand. I have thousands of messages, just probably 3 to 5 messages from this early morning today. How women are sitting right now in one of the North Shore hospitals in Chicago, and she's texting me that, Inesa, they don't know what's wrong with me. They took biopsies. They told me in the beginning I have cancer. Last week, they told her to put her in chemo pill. I spoke with her oncology center and I said, sir, doctor, whatever his name was, I forgot. I said, can you please confirm that she really has this cancer, which is leukemia? And oh yeah, in my experience, she definitely has this leukemia. We don't have to wait until biopsy is gonna come back. Biopsy is coming back now. They're saying she has genetic disease and she does not have a cancer, but she already gave her pills last week. And I was on the phone call with him speaking on the phone, and I said, can you please confirm she really does have this cancer before she's popping this chemo pill? And he was very confident that she is actually leukemia stage 4. And now we're finding out as of today, she does not have leukemia. So, and she's like shocked and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. I said, why? I would be shocked if they really knew what's going on in your body. This is what's happening to you is happening for absolutely everyone, every single one of those people.
Yeah. So this is this it makes me angry a little bit, as I'm sure it does you as well. And I know that I know you're pressed for time today. I want you to, before you kind of close up, I want you to tell, like, if someone has cancer, well, two ways I want you to answer this. If someone wants to prevent cancer, what is some tactical things they could do, some things that's just normal, like preventative type things? And then if someone has cancer, what should they start doing, like, right now, if they have cancer?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the best way is, in order to prevent cancer, stop taking toxins. Change your water filters. Stay away from the water. I don't even shower in the tap water. It's like you gotta be out of this world. Don't be lazy. Test your water. You will see most toxic, dangerous chemicals in the tap water that are officially been proven to cause cancer. Our water in Illinois under lawsuit. Monsanto is settling $5 billion right now for, like, this is a proven case. This is like they prove the causes brain disorders, cancers, everything. And they keep saying drink your tap water. No, they say drink water. They don't say which one. Then they say tap water is good, so you assume you should be drinking tap water. I don't shower in the tap water. It's the most dangerous thing is out there is your water. So stop putting toxins in the first place, and that's gonna cause you cancer, because it's not my words. Go research, go Google, you will find yourself. So even CDC and MD websites are talking all about it. So the second thing is start taking living foods. Your body is living organism. Stop killing yourself. Do not eat something like that is dead. Like, what is dead in us? So it's like anything that's dead that doesn't have any life in it. So take things from the soil. Things that are grown in the soil are living foods. So another thing is dairy and sugar. I mean, alcohol, dairy, sugar, and cigarettes, they all are the same. To me, they're exact same damage. There's no less, there's no more. By taking dairy and taking sugar itself, I mean that itself, I can't even imagine how healthy you can be. It's just impossible. The second thing, or the third or fifth thing is, if you drink your coffee, make sure you don't drink mold. Like Starbucks coffee is loaded with mold. It's no joke. If you're gonna have mold, your mold treatment, first of all, the doctors don't test for mold. And if they do finally test for mold because you convinced them to test for mold, they actually not gonna be able to find the mold in the first place because their lab specs are not really designed to find mold in your body. And you also need to provoke that mold in the body in order for mold to pop up on the lab reports. And doctors don't do that because the treatments like ozone is not available in the hospital system. So he has no way in the world to put you on mold treatment because he's never gonna even catch the mold in your body. Why have all these anxiety attacks, heart attacks, gut issues, brain disorders from mold? So make sure you don't drink your coffee. Half of America voluntarily purchasing their mold, which is they go on Starbucks and they buy mold. Those coffee beans are
Mm.
loaded. And I don't know anybody that actually can survive mold. I just don't know, unless you Jesus Christ or something.
The mold is in the coffee beans, or it's in the
Yeah,
coffee maker where the water has
coffee
set?
coffee beans. Yeah, loaded, loaded. I tested a few Starbuckses. I tested their products, their coffee beans. I was like shocked.
I'm shocked at that. I'm shocked
So
at that
start
too.
putting living foods in your body. Stop poisoning in the first place, right? And then if you got a cancer, you must work with somebody that can start giving results in a couple of weeks. If they can't give results in a couple of weeks, then you're on the wrong path. Like you're not supposed to. This is my opinion. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I just tell this to everyone that ever talks to me. You should see results in a couple of weeks, and you should have a clear data. If you don't have a
Mm.
clear data, then you need to find somebody who's going to give you clear data, who's going to test your mycotoxins, who's going to test your parasites, who's going to test your metals, who's going to test your cancer markers, who's going to really understand what's wrong with you in the first place.
Where do you recommend getting that from?
That's a tough issue too, because it's really few labs in America is doing that, and only few doctors systems are involved in this, which is super hard. But if you I think the best way to do is like really contact us through the Genesis 369, which is my consulting company, and we help people to set them on track. And based on the state they are located, we say you some people don't have anyone available around themselves, so they might need to travel for that correct data. And some who do have an option, so it's easier than to help us to guide in the right steps.
So, do you have any closing remarks? What's your takeaway? What's your closing remarks that you would leave my listeners with?
I think the closing is that I probably said a lot of things most people would get scared, but there's nothing really scary here. It's just really knowing the things, being smart about it, and keep in mind that every problem does have minimum three solutions. So don't waste your energy and time on a problem, and don't get into yourself into the fear, because it's easy to get feared. You can be controlled and manipulated by fear. So just never make super fast decisions when you're emotional. So my main takeaway is, whatever you face, if you ever face anything in front of you, keep in mind you have minimum three solutions. Never make decisions when you're actually emotional, because when you're emotional, you can't make intelligent decision. So calm yourself down and keep in mind, if you're diagnosed with anything, it did not happen over the 2 years. It happened minimum 20, 10 years of growth in your body. I'm sure you had the symptom signals in the body. The body was telling you, hey, John, hey, Mary, I'm trying to tell you I have something going on in this body. You're taking care of me. So with that being said, be alert, be aware of yourself, but at the same time, if you're gonna get this diagnosis, triple check. You would be surprised if you're gonna go to three different doctors, they're gonna give you three different informations. So don't get hooked whatever it's in front of you. Be smart, be wise, invest your own time, go on Google, ask your friends, ask a holistic doctor, talk to somebody. Open your beautiful mouth and use the beautiful tongue to get more information, communicate with people, communicate, because there's lots of solutions out there. So there's no reason to be stressed about anything in this world. Yes, we have a lot going on, a lot of bad things happening, but we need to know and we need to deal with it. That's it. Because we have solutions. We don't have to be a victims of our story.
That is so good. Nissa, I know you have to go. I wish I could keep you on here all day and just get all your knowledge, because I feel like you have so much knowledge inside of your mind. But I just want to tell you thank you so much for coming on here and sharing, because this is something that a lot of people don't want to talk about with, the and people, again, like you said, are ruled by fear. They get scared when they get something, and death is a scary thing to a lot of people, and they just don't want to play with it or make the wrong decision. But having someone like you who's seen this over and over again is super empowering and impactful for sure. So Thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to Through the Trauma podcast. If you have found value in this episode or believe in the mission behind what we are doing, please subscribe so that you never miss any future episodes. Also, be sure to check out our transformation project at transformationthroughtraumaproject.com, where we help inspirational stories get heard on a larger scale through multiple platforms. If you know someone who can benefit from this episode, please share it with them. Until next time.